Hey, Story J.
Hey, Story J.
Oh, hey guys. Welcome back to Storytime.
What story are we doing today?
Actually, I thought I'd do something that you guys have been after me for the longest time.
And that is?
The reboot episode.
Hooray!
I've been wondering how these guys came along.
We weren't here when you first started all this.
Well, back in the beginning when I first did Storytime for summer camps, these guys were just drawings on a whiteboard. But then they grew up and went to a smart board, and then when my time teaching camp ended, I decided it was time for you guys to walk, talk, and be animated. And so for old time's sake, my first story will be the one that started it all. Thordylocks and the Three Ice Trolls. Once upon a time in a land of ice, there was a little ice cottage. And in that little ice cottage was a family of trolls. There was, of course, a mama troll, a papa troll, and of course, a baby troll. And on this very morning, Mama Troll decided to make her family of three a traditional breakfast. A classic bowl of porridge, trademark for these kinds of stories. But as indicated by the wavy lines, they were indeed too hot. So where could they go at that time of morning to wait for their bowls of porridge to cool but to the mall, where they all joined their fellow mall walkers. Of course, not everybody's a morning person. It wasn't long before a curious little boy, lost and on his way to a playdate, came along the road. This curious little boy right here. And his name was Thordylocks. And on this particular day, his curiosity got the best of him, and he wanted to go inside the Ice Troll's cottage. Now, friendly readers, I ask you, should Thordylocks go into that house? But being the curious little boy that he is, do you think he will anyway? Yes, he did, and inside he went, where he found 3 bowls of porridge. And the first bowl he came across was Papa Troll's bowl of porridge. Now, papas like salty things. Potato chips, pretzels, and french fries are all salty things. And although all those are fun things to eat, this bowl tasted more like sardines, which was not exactly his cup of tea. So out that bowl went into the trash, and he came across the next bowl of porridge, which was Mama Troll's bowl of porridge. And Mama Trolls love healthy things, fruits and vegetables. Walnuts are also a very healthy snack. But this bowl of porridge tasted like the healthiest snack a mother could imagine for their child, and that would be liver and onions, which again was not Thordylocks' top choice. So out that bowl went, and Thordylocks came across Baby Troll's bowl of porridge. And babies love sweet things like candy, cookies, and cupcakes. And this bowl of porridge tasted exactly like a bowl of ice cream, which made Thordylocks a very happy camper. So he finished that bowl of porridge all up and decided to have a little rest, which brought him to the Ice Troll's living room. And the first chair he came to was Papa's. Now, again, audience, do you think Thordylocks should sit in chairs that aren't his? No, of course not. But do you think that for plot advancement that he may do it anyway? Yep, you know it. And sit he did, but as you can see, Papa Troll's chair was very cold as it was made of ice, which made his little bottom very uncomfortable, to say the least. So he decided to try Mama Troll's favorite chair, which Thordylocks found to be a very ergonomic and ecological chair. Unfortunately, being squishy was again not Thordylocks' most comfortable choice, which brought him to Baby Troll's favorite chair. Unfortunately, Thordylocks didn't even make it 2 steps toward that chair because it was unfortunately made by a third-party company. And when he took a few steps toward that chair, well, buyer beware. And so it collapsed and broke just upon his approach. At this point, Thordylocks' curiosity brought him to their living room of all of their favorite things, one of them being Papa Troll's favorite thing. Now, Papa Trolls loved shiny things, trophies, world's greatest dad mugs. But Papa Troll's favorite thing was his all bells and whistles included Lamborghini, equipped with 631 horsepower, V10 engines, and a touchscreen console. Now, do you think Thordylocks could get into that car without the keys? No, he could not. And I think we can all thank goodness for that. Now the next thing he found was Mama Troll's favorite thing. Now some Mama Trolls love to read. Some Mama Trolls love to binge watch. Some Mama Trolls love to do it all in one. And they could do it all on their nice, handy-dandy tablet computer, which again, was not something Goldilocks should just grab. But do you think he wanted to anyway? You guessed it, he sure did. And fortunately, when he could not find the passcode, he was not a happy camper. But he was a little entitled. And then he found Baby Troll's favorite thing. Now, Baby Trolls loved toddler toys. Baby rattlers, baby pacifiers, or baby shark. Now, this baby was a thinking baby, and this baby loved smart puzzle toys. Now, do you think that Goldilocks wanted to play with a baby toy? No, sir, he did not, but he did find something that grabbed his interest. And that was the one and only Mjolnir, the choice hammer and custom lunchbox for Norse kindergartners. But who should come along back to their own house but the three ice trolls? And when they found the curious little boy who had broken all of their things, sat in all of their seats, and eaten all of their porridge, Goldilocks knew he was in some serious trouble. All of them sat there speechless, the trolls with anger, Goldilocks in fear. But in the awkward silence, someone chose to speak. And that was Baby Troll, saying his first words, and they were, "He could have it," which made Mama Troll a very happy troll now that her baby could speak, and Goldilocks, after apologizing for doing wrong, and realizing that was the house of the playdate, made a new friend. So Goldilocks was happy, and Baby Troll was happy, and Mama Troll was happy, and when Mama Troll's happy, everybody's happy. So come on, Papa, be happy. There you go. Thank you very much for participating, Papa. So with everyone happy, as they do tend to do in these stories, they all lived happily ever after.
I like how in your version you made friends instead of the Goldilocks version where she just runs off.
That's called an adalmation. I think you mean adaptation.
Well, you're not wrong. An adaptation is taking a written work and transferring it to a new medium, like film, live action, theater, or animation. But your story is more of an amalgamation. It's a style of storytelling when you combine elements of stories to create a whole new one, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who are also a parody inspired by comics like X-Men, Cerebus the Aardvark, and Daredevil.
The Mighty Thor and Goldilocks.
Luke and the Beanstalk.
Little Red Riding Hood and Beck.
Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa. Have you not had the copyright talk with them?
Oh, I am not changing my costume again. At least I got to keep my picnic basket utility belt. But the mini blue cape and cowl were might much.
It's fuchsia. It's fuchsia now. We were okay before, but we were even better this time, because now, I present to you the slightly updated origin story of Little Brave Batsy Good. Once upon a time, in the forest, actually, let's make it a jungle. An urban jungle. And in this urban jungle, there lived a little girl. This little girl. And her name was Little Brave Batsy Good. Now, Little Brave Batsy Good lived on the edge of town. And on this particular day, she went to visit her sick great-grandbutler. And he lived in Stately Vane Manor, where the owner, billionaire Stately Vane, was away overseas celebrating his birthday with friends. Where alone, sick in the mansion, laid great-grandbutler Alfred. I'm not getting sued. Now, this was flu season, so great-grandbutler Alfred wasn't the only one who was sick. Because on that particular day, along should come the big bad joke. Now, the big bad joke was big bad news indeed. And the biggest and baddest thing he had going for him, unfortunately, was his big bad cold. Hence the red nose. Now, on this day, along should come Little Brave Batsy Good, skipping along on her way to see her great-grandbutler Alfred. And as she crossed paths with the big bad joke said,
"Little girl, are you going with that boat?"
And little brave Batsy Good looked up with her big blue eyes and said,
"Hello and good morning to you, sir. Dinny fast yourself. I'm going to my great-grandbutler's for a wee bit. He's getting like a skinny malanky long legs. Instead of staying
Subtitles, please.
in his health and his wealth.
Thank you.
Oh, Tilda's wouldn't preserve us. I best be off. What's fair you won't go by ya."
Well, after little brave Batsy Good left, that got the wolf to thinking. He wanted that soup for himself. So he took the number 5 bus across town, got a ride share, and off he went straight to Stately Vane Manor, where he met up with great-grandbutler Alfred, handing him not 1 but 2 free cruise tickets that indeed got great-grandbutler Alfred's attention very quickly, where he was off, packed, and on the cruise just in time for the 4 o'clock buffet. Well, now that great-grandbutler Alfred was out of the way, that gave the big bad joke an opportunity to take his place. And he did, as he just so happened to have one particular ball cap that just so happened to resemble great-grandbutler Alfred's head and skin tone, making a gruesomely perfect disguise. And it was only but a few moments later where little brave Batsy Good came skipping along, brave as can be.
Is this still in the script?
I'm afraid it is.
Ewan McGregor, let's get this over with. Oh, great-grandbutler Alfred. What great squinty eyes you have.
And the big bad joke said,
"Oh, the better to see you with, my dear."
Oh, great-grandbutler Alfred. What a great big red nose you have.
And again, the big bad joke said,
"Oh, the better to smell soup with, except I can't really smell anything, so let's just keep going, shall we?"
Oh, great-grandbutler Alfred. What great pointing chompers and grinders you certainly have there.
"Oh, the better to steal soup with, dear."
And without a moment's notice, the big bad joke was up, out of the bed, leaping toward little brave Batsy Good. But little brave Batsy Good wasn't Little Red Riding Hood. And little brave Batsy Good was a girl from the 21st century. And little girls from the 21st century take Taekwondo classes, because little girls from the 21st century can take care of it themselves. And take care of it she did. So when the big bad joke tried to jump after her, she jumped right after him and kicked his little booty all the way up and down the halls of Stately Vane Manor. And little brave Batsy Good showed the big bad joke that sometimes dynamite comes in small packages. So little brave Batsy Good turned in the big bad joke, earned the reward to join her great-grandbutler Alfred, just in time for shuffleboard, the 5 o'clock buffet, and snacks by the pool. And, as they all do in these types of stories, they lived happily ever after.
Where'd you get that?
Would you believe a clown, 3 teens, and a space coaster?
What is it?
Well, it looks like an old movie projector.
Any movies on it?
Well, let's see.
was updated about my story?
Nothing. I just think your story's always worth retelling. Friendly readers, the story of Little Prince Panther. Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, in a beautiful kingdom ruled by a compassionate and majestic family, and in that family was a little prince, and his name was Little Prince Panther. They gave him that name because everywhere he went, he wore the same 4 items his mother gave him as gifts: his necklace, his boots, his gloves, and of course, his princely panther cub cowl. Now, Little Prince Panther was a very well-rounded boy. He read all sorts of books, was very studious in all of the sciences, including the arts. He had many friends.
Sorry.
He played all sorts of sports, and even took self-defense classes, but was told only to use them if absolutely necessary. Good job. But the most important thing about him was that he had a big heart. Now, his friends lived just outside of the city, and over the sea, and in the little town of Old Wound's Harbor, named after its founder, Edwin Oldwound, the famous tonic water tycoon and infamous alternate factorian. And like Edwin Oldwound's statue, the town had a lot that needed to be fixed. Unlike his friends that lived there, there were those in Old Wound's Harbor that often dismissed anyone that they considered small. But this land still had a great deal of potential and a great deal of good people. And it was this that Little Prince Panther did not overlook. Now every day, as Little Prince Panther would go out and into this land, his mother the Queen would talk to him and tell him what she would often tell him every day as he entered this place.
Be careful, my son. Though you are a prince, others will treat you differently. Use your strength to walk away knowing who you are. You are beautiful. You are capable. You are lovable. You are worthy. You are the son of kings and a child of the Most High, and there is nothing that can prevail against that.
So Little Prince Panther set out the same route he took every day to the city. Down the road, through the forest, over the water, hurdling the rocks as he often had to do, until finally he came into the city.
Those are right nice gloves you got there, mate.
But the first person he met was not one of his friends. It was a little boy, Ulysses Timmy Claude. Now Claude had a habit of talking over people, and with his own personal handheld amplifier, he always had the loudest voice in the room. Another thing about Claude was that when he saw something he wanted, he would often bully his way into getting it. So when Claude saw Little Prince Panther in his nice new gloves, he said,
Those are nice red gloves you got there, mate.
to which Little Prince Panther replied with a thank you, telling him that they were a gift from his mother, the Queen. But Claude, with a grin, said,
Those gloves might look even better on me.
to which Little Prince Panther said to him, As for your belief, I cannot change, but these are and always will be my gloves. At that, Claude said,
Look, mate, you want to give me those gloves, or you want to fight?
Now even though Little Prince Panther wanted to fight to keep those gloves, he remembered what his mother, the Queen, told him about walking away. So before Claude could yell and scream to the grown-ups, the young Prince Panther disappointedly took off his gloves, leaving the little prince to go home without them. Now the very next day, Little Prince Panther, not one to let one moment spoil another day, set off for the city to see his friends. Down the road, through the forest, hurtling over the rocks as he often had to do, until he came into the city. But this time, he came across a little girl at the playground, and her name was Misty Ghostal. Now Misty loved new clothes and everything shiny, and she often had a habit of lying on someone's character to get anything she wanted. And such was the case when she saw Little Prince Panther's shiny necklace.
Like, nice necklace.
Misty said with a sneer. Thank you, was Little Prince Panther's reply.
Let me try it on. It's way more suited for me anyway.
But again, Little Prince Panther said, as for your belief, he cannot change. But this is, and always will be, his necklace. But Misty Ghostal told him that if he didn't give it to her, she would yell to the grown-ups that he stole the necklace from her, getting him into trouble. So, Little Prince Panther regrettably gave her his necklace, leaving the little prince to go home without it. Now the next day was the same thing, but this time the young prince was heated, and it wasn't long before he came across another rival, and that was Barry Mimo. Now Mimo was quite used to getting his way, and getting attention in any way necessary. He yelled for attention, he yelled for toys, he yelled for anything as long as he was getting what he wanted. Now Mimo loved new shoes, and though his boots were only a few weeks old, he noticed they were not as shiny as Little Prince Panther's. So when Mimo saw those boots, he would make sure in getting them, even if it meant lying.
Where did you get those boots?
Grumbled Mimo. Now Little Prince Panther had enough, but before he even began to argue, Mimo screamed and cried for the grown-ups.
He won't give me my boots!
Prince Panther couldn't believe it. As he saw the grown-ups coming to rush to Mimo's cries, the little prince hurriedly gave him the boots. This left the Little Prince Panther feeling very powerless, and it also made him very angry, and also very sad. He went to his mother and told her everything that happened, and they talked and talked into the night, until he fell asleep. The next day he returned to the city, and he went the same route as he always had, down the road, through the forest, over the water, hurdling the rocks as he often had to do, until he came to the city, and it wasn't long before he not only came across not one, not two, but all three standing there waiting. And there was Claude, and Claude said,
You know the drill, mate. Hand them over or else we'll have to.
But this time, Little Prince Panther said,
No, I will not listen to you. You will not speak over me, and you will not take what's mine away from me. You will not take my voice, and you will not take my power. I am beautiful. I am capable. I am lovable. I am worthy. I am the son of kings, and I am a child of the Most High. And there is nothing that you can say that can prevail against that. And I will not live in the same fear that you do.
and with that, he walked past them with his head held high, the prince who would be king. But he paused, turned to them, and said,
And if you let go of your fear, you can stand with me instead of against me.
His words left them feeling very sad and very small. They thought about them for a very long time. Then they turned, scratched the back of their heads, and crept behind the prince.
You're right. And we're wrong.
They said it's exhausting being me, and they didn't like feeling worried all the time, and that they were tired of being tired. So Claude, Misty, and Mimo returned all of the things they stole, acknowledged their wrongs, and did their best to be better. So it was a start, and that was all Little Prince Panther wanted. And in thanks for his offering and friendship, they gave him something in return. They built him a bridge to make it easier to come back and forth from his home to this new neighboring land, because it was always better to build bridges than to build walls. And if we all live the same way that these wonderful, fanciful, and hopeful children do in this wonderful fictional tale, then maybe we could take a cue from them, and maybe we too can all live happily ever after.
I love the ending of that one.
Me too, Rosie B. But your voice sounded different than it does now, LP. Yeah, we're right. My mom says it's because I'm getting older.
Well, everything's relative.
You know, you could always make another story.
Yeah? What do you suggest?
Maybe take Nubia or Ironheart and mix them with a new superhero kid version of Rapunzel or Sleeping Beauty. Iron Beauty.
I like your style, kid.
All right. So who wants to lead us out?
Alcohol.
You got the floor, buddy.
Be respectful of others.
Be brave.
Believe in yourself. Be inspired.
And be you.
And we'll see you next time. Hey there, friendly readers. If you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. And if you're feeling generous, please click on the button below where you can donate, or you can email me your own family-friendly animations, virtual field trips, guest teachers, history lessons, tutorials, or read-alouds for everyone to see, share, and be a part of the community. So please go to Story J Storytime, and I'll see you next time.